Welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain to you what is AWS EC2. Our main aim is to break it down to the simplest form so you can understand, the concept on the higher level. So anytime you're working in and around AWS EC2, you have this at the background. Okay, so let's move forward. EC2 basically stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Pay particular attention to the words elastic, compute, cloud, right? So elastic means something that can shrink and can grow. So you can shrink it and then you can grow. By that, we mean when you have your EC2 instance, it's quite flexible. Okay, you can choose to have more, you can choose to have less, and it's basically a computer that you can access over the internet. Think about it, your own computer that you have in your own homes. But in this case, we are able to access this over the internet. Then the next question is, where are these computers itself that we are going to access over the internet? Who manages it and how does it run? That is why we have the concept called virtual machines. So, virtual means not real. Okay, technically it's not real. So for example, virtual meeting, so it's not in person meeting, you holding the meeting over an internet, so it's not face to face meeting. So similar to this, when we say virtual machine or virtual server, it's not the physical machine that you can see and touch. These are the machine that you can access over the internet. So how do we get about all these things? So we have a company, in this case AWS, they have what we call data centers. Data centers are just like, think about it as like server rooms, big warehouse with massive computers running all the time. They have the capacity to be able to share this over the internet. Therefore, you accessing the computer over the internet, it's not the real one you are accessing. You are accessing the virtual. It's like really not the real machine, but you're able to access a copy of it over the internet. In this case, we will call having access to a copy of it, we can call it an instance. So you are running an instance, basically a copy of a machine over the internet. Again, going back to the terminology here, which I think it will guide you to understanding on a higher level. Elastic, shrink, or you can grow. Okay, compute, just a computer in the cloud over the internet. Instance means you are running a copy of that instance, a copy of that machine over the internet. Virtual means not real, but it is something that you can access it over an internet. So virtual machine, it's not the physical machine, it's not your physical laptop, but you are able to access it over the internet. Think about it, virtual meeting over Zoom, over Teams. Yeah, same virtual server. These words are used interchangeably. So you might hear, oh, go and create or go and spin up EC2, go and spin up an instance, go and spin up virtual machine or virtual server. Okay, understand they are the same thing. Okay, so the next slide will kind of explain who does what. By that we mean AWS is in charge of what we call the host server, the physical machine at the data center, the physical place like the warehouse running all these big machines. AWS are in charge of managing it, the cooling, the network, and everything. They are in charge of that. When they publish this mini machines over the internet, we call this the virtual machine. So just like a little machine on top of the bigger machine. So mini machine inside a bigger machine, right? So this is what we have, okay? And this is what we called the host server, and then This is what we call the virtual machines. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is going to walk you through my AWS console and then show you and explain to you what I've just explained. So let me quickly go to my console and then show you what I mean. So here is what we call your EC2. Okay, you can search for it in the search bar, EC2. Okay, virtual server in the cloud, as I explained. Okay, let's come here. These are the resources that you can get by creating EC2 instance. So like I said, instance, it just means you are running a copy of the virtual machine. Okay, actually, let's start from the left hand side. So we have the instance, so running a copy of the virtual machine. The next one is how powerful do you want this machine? By that, we choose what we call the instant type. Okay, the instant type will show you how powerful you want it. Let me click on that and show you. So you could see it will tell you the CPU that you want. The higher or the powerful you want, the more you pay. Basically, it tell you the architecture of it, the memory, the storage type, and then the network performance. This is like basically how powerful do you want your machine. Okay, and what we have here is a template. You can have a blueprint anytime you want to create an instance. You use the blueprint to spin up your instance. Okay, you can have what we call spot request or saving plan or reserve instance. Even you can have what we call dedicated host, dedicated for you. Okay, going down, what we have here is called image, Amazon machine images. So these images, this is like the pre-configured what we call the instance that you can get as in for your OS, your operating system, and other software running within your instance. So anytime you are creating your instance, you need to pick what operating system you want to use. So basically, you can build your own virtual machine. Okay. So building your own virtual machine, you pick how powerful you want it, where do you want to put it, what image or what operating system you want to choose. Again, you can choose what we call the elastic block stores or the volumes. So the volume is like the hard drives you want to attach to this machine. Okay, and what we have here, you have your network and security. So security is like your firewall. You can build a firewall around this. Again, you can have what we call elastic IPs. So elastic IPs are just like a permanent IP that you giving to this instance. Anytime you stop or you reboot, you're not gonna change what we call your IP. A static public IP. Okay, key pairs. So you can have what we call a way that you can securely connect to your instance using what we call key pair, similar to like username password for you to connect. Okay, we have other resources here like load balancing, target group. So you can create a load balancing for your EC2 to intercept your traffic and also publish your traffic to the instance that is available to receive this traffic. To that end, you can have what we call your target group. So load balancer will point your traffic to what we call the target group. Again, you can have what we call auto scaling, which you'll be able to grow or shrink at any point in time. Okay. So on a higher level, this is what we call, AWS EC2 instance. Think about it. It's an instance, a copy of a virtual machine, which is like a computer running in the cloud that you can provision at any point in time. You can delete it, you can stop it. It's quite flexible. That is what we call elastic, and that gives you the capacity to choose how powerful you want it and the type of operating system you want. Okay. Our next video will be more focused on the provision of our EC2 instance. The first one will be provision EC2 instance running on what we call a Linux operating system. And then thereafter we have another video which we are going to provision an EC2 instance running on our Windows server, okay, which we're going to do our RDP to connect to this instance. So again, that is all I have for you. I hope this video will be helpful. Please comment, share, like them, and then again, if you have anything you want me to do video about it, you can put it in the comment. I'm happy to do that. Okay. Keep learning, happy learning, and then see you in my next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.